Turnabout Intruder is arguably the worst episode in the original series. Some have even argued that Shatner's performance in it was cringeworthy. So my question to all of you is this. In the current state the world is today, if Star Trek, or rather this particular episode, was made for the first time ever, and everything that was done in this episode was presented to us today, would the script be rewritten? Would they be re-editing, reshooting, changing the story around because of modern day political correctness, or as some would like to call it, the woke agenda? Modern day audiences wanted the Doctor to become a woman, so that is exactly what they got. And this is where Doctor Who really started going downhill. In today's world, if this show was made, and I've asked the question before, but what would this episode be like? Would we be presented with the same thing that we've known all these years? Or would there be so many cuts, edits, reshoots that they would make this thing completely different from what we see today? So we have Dr. Janice Lester, who comes across some ancient technology that's able to transfer life force energy from one body to the other, and decides to use it on her ex-lover, Captain Kirk. Basically, she decides to steal his identity, forcing Kirk to be transferred into the woman's body, Janice Lester, forcing him to become her, and this thing can get a little confusing after a little while. But this is kind of what we face in today's world. A lot of people believe that identity politics is being played out not only in real life, but in our television and theater. And this episode here is a perfect example of why this thing is so messed up.
How can death be explained now?
I tell you, it can't continue.
You killed every one of the staff. You sent them where you knew the Celebium shielding was weak. Now, why didn't you kill him? You had the perfect opportunity.
There wasn't enough time.
Modern day politics tells us that if you do not go along with our narrative, we will find a way to silence you or destroy you. Now, in the case here, we have Janice Lester, who sent her entire staff to a part of the mining area known to be dangerous, which killed off the staff, and then hopes to kill off Kirk, but there wasn't enough time to do it. Now she's going to try and convince the entire crew that she's Kirk, and if you don't go along with what I am plotting here, I am going to execute you.
Is the story of life entity transfer believable? This crew has been to many places in the galaxy. They've been witness to many strange events. They're trained to know that what seems to be impossible often is possible.
So could you imagine, as I said before, what this episode would be like in the modern world? What would they do with it? I could have a pretty clear idea of how they would play this out, because as I said before, they've been trying to make women out to be the superior, more stronger ones in a lot of the episodes and TV shows and movies. So I could just see somehow the press getting leaked the information that this life transference happened, and they get aboard the Enterprise, and what's the next thing that happens? Janice Lester in Captain Kirk's body tells the story of how the mean old Captain Kirk abused her and all the other women that he's been around throughout his escapades as a man. So the press starts spinning the story that Captain Kirk deserves to be trapped in that body for the rest of his life. Imagine how the Wrath of Khan would have played out. The minute that view screen kicks in, Khan's all smiling and he looks at that view screen and he doesn't see Captain Kirk, but he sees a woman in his place. What would the reaction be there? Shatner's performance by so many was not liked in this episode. It was way over the top for a lot of people. At least this is stuff I've been reading all over the internet. But when you think about how so many people have been crying that a lot of people have been acting, as the term goes, Karen, this particular episode works great. It works great with the way he's acting. It's hard to believe that something so bad as this episode would play out so well in today's society.
You have received your orders. You will obey my orders!
I love Star Trek, the original series, and I think so much of what they did was ahead of the times. And this episode right here, as bad as it was, as I keep saying it, as bad as it was, by today's standards, was right on point with the way a lot of people think. It is so damn scary. So I really would love to know what all of you think about this. Do you think this is a bad episode? Do you think possibly I may be overstating how this thing plays out in today's world? I'm just curious. I really think that this is an interesting thing to talk about. Modern day politics has so much going on, and how it's infected our pop culture and our films, and how it has damaged so much. And this episode, again, to me, is right on point with what the heck is going on today. So drop your comments below. Let me know. Tell me what you think. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.